Da ti radiš glupost, da šetaš, da ti nije rekao nešto, pa ajde, da stojiš umjesto svoje. Dragajte, vaše izvrši sud, stabilno.
Very welcome. Thank you. Yes, there were in fact some progress. When I visited last time, there was not. Okay, thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this VIP corner between the President of the European Commission and the Prime Minister of Montenegro, Mr. Igor Lukšić. Both gentlemen will now do a short statement after the working meeting, and then we will answer your questions. President, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is a pleasure to welcome Prime Minister Lukšić of Montenegro to Brussels once again. This is the third time we meet since the Prime Minister took office, and I can see that his European enthusiasm remains the same. We had a very fruitful and constructive meeting where we discussed Montenegro's achievements on its European Union accession path, as well as the next steps. Clearly, Montenegro has worked very hard on its European Union agenda, particularly since December 2010, when it was granted European Union candidate status and Prime Minister Lukšić took office. The recent decision of the European Council opening the door towards the start of accession negotiations is a fair recognition of Montenegro's efforts. I have commended the Prime Minister on his strong leadership in this process. This coming spring, in line with European Council conclusions, the Commission will present a report on the implementation of reforms in Montenegro with a particular focus on the rule of law and fundamental rights. This report is very important for the country's European journey, as it will serve as a basis for the Council's decision on the opening of accession negotiations with Montenegro. Therefore, I have encouraged Prime Minister to continue delivering further concrete results in these key fields, meaning the rule of law and fundamental rights, but also the fight against corruption and organized crime. In these areas, there is still significant work to be done, which is first and foremost in your country's own interest. So in short, Montenegro is in principle close to opening accession negotiations. Now it needs to run the final straight towards this very ambitious objective. I'm convinced that with strong political will and determination and hard work in next weeks and months, Montenegro will succeed. Success is indeed in your own hands. I'm also encouraged by the firm national consensus and the strong commitment of the Montenegrin people to move forward on the path towards European Union membership. As I said last year when I visited Podgorica, and I believe still to be true today, Montenegro is on the right track. From our part, the Commission will continue to provide support to Montenegro at this crucial stage of the accession process. Montenegro can certainly count on us. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. President, but also thank you very much for the meeting we've had. I think we had a good meeting, useful meeting, and I'd like to thank for that, and I'd like to thank for the support we received from the European Commission. All the efforts you invest to help Montenegro on our European road are highly appreciated and highly motivating for us to continue with the same approach. I've taken the opportunity of having a meeting with President Barroso today to explain where we are right now from the European perspective point of view. I've reassured President Barroso that the European integration process remains high priority for the government, and that we are focusing all of our efforts, as it can be seen from the 50 pages report that we have contributed to the European Commission, as our view of the progress that has been made since October and December last year. So I've reassured that the European integration process remains high priority, and that we are concentrating our efforts into various directions. One of the directions, obviously, is to build negotiating structure which will respond to the needs of future accession talks, basically on the new model which was prepared by the European Commission and related to chapters 23 and 24. We have involved not only civil servants, we have involved in those groups representatives, NGOs, and I think it is the first we are the first country that have done so in preparing for the accession talks. And secondly, we are committing efforts to all those 7 benchmarks, as I already said, but basically and primarily with regards to 23 and 24, we have reinvigorated discussions on constitutional amendments. We are making sure that anti-corruption legislation that was passed last year is implemented properly, and we are also monitoring the process of building a track record in terms of judiciary process, because I think we have solid results in all the stages, and we are looking forward to the sentences so that we can have verdicts and therefore a track record in all the cycles which will reflect our efforts to respond adequately to the need to continue with the rule of law, with battling corruption, organized crime, and so on. So Montenegro has managed to maintain broad consensus on European integration process. Therefore, I'm quite sure that we will continue the same way. And once again, I highly appreciate the support of the European Commission and respective departments within the European Commission.
First of all, I raised this issue with Prime Minister during our very good and constructive meeting. I am aware of the recent attack on a journalist, and we have received the ensuing petition by your colleagues. Let me be very clear. Acts of violence and vandalism directed against the media are unacceptable in a democratic society. We urge the authorities to ensure a safe environment for investigative journalism, to completely investigate and prosecute this case, as well as previous attacks against journalists, and to bring the perpetrators to justice in any case of this kind. When the European Commission adopted its opinion on Montenegro's application in 2010, media freedom was identified as one of the 7 key priorities for Montenegro. We will continue to closely follow developments in this area in the context of the pre-accession process. As I said, the European Commission will present this spring a report on the implementation of reforms in Montenegro, which will look in particular into continued progress regarding the key priorities, including the one on media freedom. So what I expect now is that, of course, this case that I understand is now being brought to justice, of course, comes to a solution, of course, in accordance with the rule of law. And that was expressed very clearly to the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister also gave me assurances on behalf of Montenegro that he is determined to these principles. But I don't know if you want to comment on it.
I've shared my view with President Barroso. I informed him that authorities, police department, reacted swiftly, efficiently, in my view. There is now prosecutors' investigation underway, and I'm sure that it will bring about results which are necessary. As I said on that day as well, I think those cases are unacceptable for a democratic society, and I think we are past the critical line in which there is no possibility that our society can swallow any longer that sort of media harassment. Therefore, I think we need all be reassured by what police has done, and now I think the whole case is in prosecutors' hands, and I just hope that it will bring about results very soon.
Thank you very much. I didn't see any other questions. So thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister.
Thank you.
Johnny.